Yeah, I'll take it.
Let me know when to start. Combined it. Took all my
Oh, that sun is terrible. Oh, the
Oh
sun.
boy, the sun again. God.
It's really bad
When
lately.
does that stop?
Okay, so
Ah,
Ooh, that's a bad
it's
spot.
really bad.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure
That
out
means-
the
Stand at this
stand.
angle.
at the end of
It's gonna stand like right here.
of
That's not horrible.
if you want to do anything special, tell me.
No,
Big birthday.
just we should do cinnamon toast.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
Where's the?
Maybe just saying happy birthday. And then left somehow. Could we do both of those? And then
No.
cinnamon toast and mazel tov? Does that sound good? Okay.
That's
Before that.
Oi.
She's still going.
My grandfather lived 101. So that was pretty cool. So 102 will work.
I feel like I need sunglasses.
Huh?
I feel like I need sunglasses.
Yeah, you probably do. I'm gonna steal some of this because
Yeah, a lot of them got stuck in there. Ooh.
At B'nai Mitzvahs, we had to outlaw certain candy. After getting beaten. with,
Yeah.
It's like no big candy.
Yeah. No walkers. So it's what's her name? I think so. Yeah.
6 o'clock. Yep.
All right. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
So glad to have you all here with us this beautiful Shabbat evening. We're going to get started with our Shabbat Nigun. It's a song that has no words except for Shabbat Shalom, so there's no page number. All you have to do is sing Shabbat Shalom at the appropriate time.
Yallai, lai, 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 yallai, lai, 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 yallai, lai, 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 yallai, yallai, lai, yallai, lai, 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 yallai, lai, 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 yallai, lai, 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 yallai, lai, yallai, lai, yallai, lai, 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 yallai, lai, yallai, lai, yallai, lai, 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 yallai, lai, lai, lai. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, lai, 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 ya lai, 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 lai, ya lai, lai.
Shabbat Shalom. We turn to page 5 for Shalom Aleichem. And halfway down the page, we have Shalom Aleichem, and it's a prayer all about welcoming in the angels that accompany us on Shabbat, page 5.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Hayom, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barhuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sechem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
As we turn back to page 4, we ask that if you're able, you please rise, as we'll be reciting our candle lighting blessing. If you're at home right now watching us, you're welcome to light your candles at this time, as we'll be reciting the blessing in just a moment.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlikne, v'tzivanu lahadlikne, Vitzivanu, Vitzivanu, lahadlikne shel Shabbat.
You may be seated. We turn to page 11, and on page 11 we have the start of Psalm 95, Lechun Eranana, sing out to God in praise for our beautiful world. Page 11.
Lechun Eranana, Lechun Eranana, Lechun Eranana, Ladonai. Lechun Eranana, Lechun Eranana, Lechun Eranana, Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Litzuri Shenu Nikadma Fana Bitoda. Naria, Naria, Litzoi Shenu, Bizbira, Naria Lo, Lechuniranina, 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 Ladonai, Lechuniranina, 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 Ladonai. Lechuniranina, 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 Ladonai. Lechuniranina, 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 Ladonai.
Turn now to page 16, and on page 16, 4 lines up from the bottom of the page, we have the end of Psalm 97, Or Zarua.
Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Hu Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Hu Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Hu Yisrael Simcha. Hu Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Hu Yisrael Simcha. Hu Yisrael Simcha. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la. Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Hu Yisrael Simcha. Or Zarua, La Tzadik, Hu Yisrael Simcha.
On page 20, you find Romemu, the end of Psalm 99, talks about exalting God on God's highest mountain. Page 20.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu lahar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu lahar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu lahar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu lahar kodsho.
We ask that you please rise if you're able as we turn to page 21. On page 21, we have Psalm 29.
Mizmor LeDavid, Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, Havu l'Adonai, Kavod v'Oz, Havu l'Adonai, V'od Shemo, Yitakavu l'Adonai, V'Hadrat Kodesh, Kol Adonai, Amayim, Mehel HaKavodim, Adonai, Almayim Rabim, Kol Adonai, Ba'koach, Kol Adonai, Be'adar, Kol Adonai, Shover Arazim, V'shaber Adonai, Et hazeh hafanot, V'yakidem k'mo egel, Levanon, V'Sirion, Kimo ben Remi, Kol Adonai, Chotze la'avorit, Kol Adonai, Yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai, midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai, Yachol Elayalot, Vayechesov, Ye'aron Uvechalo Klo Homer Kavod Ay Adonai Lama Boya Hashav Yeshev Adonai Melech Le'olam Adonai Oz Le'am Oyitin Adonai Yifarach Ramo Vashalom Ay
You may be seated. We turn now to page 23, and on pages 23, 24, and 25, we have the centerpiece of the Kabbalat Shabbat service, Lecha Dodi, welcoming in the Shabbat bride. What we're going to be doing today is the first two stanzas on page 23, the middle stanza on page 24, and then I'll signal y'all to rise and turn and face the door, and then we'll do the last stanza on page 25. Again, we're on page 23 with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pinei Shabbat Nikabela Jamor v'zachor V'dibor echad Ishmianu El HaMeyuchad Adonai Echad U'Shemo Echad L'Shemu Tiferet V'Helitina Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Pinei Shabbat Nikabela Likrat Shabbat Lechu v'nelcha ki mekor Haberacha merosh mikedem Nesucha sof ma'aseh B'machshavat tchila
Page 24.
Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela Hitorari Kiva Orech Kumi Uri Shir Daberi Kvod Adonai Alayich Nikla
Please rise. Page 25.
Likrat Kala Pinei Shabbat Nikabela Boi v'shalom Ateret ba'ala Gam b'simcha Uv'tzola toch emuneh Am segula boi chala Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Nikabela.
You may be seated. We turn now to page 27, and on page 27 we have the first half of our special psalm for the day of Shabbat.
Mizmor shir liyom haShabbat Tov lehodot la'Adonai ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. עלי אסון ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון וכינור. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידך ארענן. מה גדול מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
On page 28, we have the conclusion of Psalm 92, the special psalm for Shabbat, 8 lines up from the bottom at the red arrow, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach.
Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Ke'eres Bavanon Yizkeh, Shetulim Beveit Adonai, Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrihu Od Yenuvun Beseva, Deshenim Vera'ananim Yiyu Lahagid Ki Ashar Adonai Aisuri Velo
Page 29.
Erotecha ne'emunu me'od lehevetcha na'ava kodesh Adonai le'orech yamin.
On page 30, we have the first of our 2 mourners' Kaddishes tonight. If you're observing Yortzeit or in mourning, or if it's your custom, feel free to rise. Again, Kaddish Yatom, mourners' Kaddish is on page 30. Yitzkadal ve'yitzkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alama divra kirutei ve'amlich malchutei, ve'chayechon uvyomechon uvechaye dechol beit Yisrael, Bagala uvizman kariv imeru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Ulamei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromham v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal Shmei Dekudesha Brichu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'yimeru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shmaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru Amen. Oseh Shalom b'mromav Huyaseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru Amen. It's now my pleasure to call up my colleague Rabbi Cohen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, we could do a little better than that. It's been a long week, I know. We're here in a festive mood, are we not? Are you, Miss Hannah, are you in a festive mood? Are you in a happy mood? Say yes. Got it. All right. Get this situated here. So this Shabbat, we begin the fourth book of the Torah, which is the book of Numbers, known as Bamidbar. And actually, this fourth book picks up where the second book of Shmot, Exodus, left off. At the end of Shmot, the end of Exodus, a census was taken so that each household could make an appropriate contribution for the building and maintenance of the Mishkan, of the portable sanctuary that would accompany the Israelites on their wandering through the wilderness. Bamidbar begins with a census, probably not a second one, but one that's related to the one we saw back in Exodus. And it gives us the arrangement of the tribes around the Mishkan as the people's journey begins towards the Promised Land. And it has been 13 months now since the Israelites have left Egypt, so the almost 39-year journey now begins in the book of Bamidbar. I don't blame them. I'd want to walk out too. It's fine. So contrary to popular belief, the word Bamidbar does not directly correspond to the Greek name given to the book Numbers. What does Bamidbar mean?
In the desert.
Desert, exactly. It's not, Bamidbar is not about quantity. It's actually about physical space. Bamidbar means wilderness or desert, wilderness in particular. And it is this name that leads the rabbis of the Talmud to offer the following insight. Bishlosha dvarim nikna haTorah, ba'esh, b'mayim, uvamidbar. With three types of experiences was the Torah given. With fire, with water, and in the wilderness. The experience of fire, say the rabbis, refers to a midrash, a rabbinic interpretation in which Abraham is willing to enter into a fiery furnace in the presence of the king of Babylonia for the sake of defending his newfound faith. That's where the rabbis get the idea of fire, of Aish. The experience of Mayim, of water, refers to the willingness of Nachshon ben Aminadav, a prince of the tribe of Judah, who, according to the Midrash, had the faith to jump into the Sea of Reeds, and faith that the people who followed him in the water would escape the pursuing Egyptians and leave behind their years of slavery in Egypt. So what's the experience of wilderness? So we've had fire, Aish, and Mayim. We have water. Where does wilderness come in? Well, as the name of the portion in the book suggests, the experience of the wilderness begins with the Torah reading this Shabbat. Moses leads the people on their 40-year journey through a land devoid of the conveniences and pleasures of civilization. The rabbis of the Talmud thus contend that without the experience of the wilderness, without this journeying, without this wandering through these years, without both the challenges and the gifts that the journey entails, we would never have been able to carry out our ideals our values, and our beliefs once we got to our own land. So this journey through the wilderness is extremely important to our experience. One commentator sees this three-part experience of fire and water and wilderness in a more philosophical light. Fire, he suggests, refers to the enthusiasm with which we carry ourselves as Jews and as human beings in the world today. Water refers to the constant flow of Jewish ideals and waves of vision that spur us forward in life. And wilderness refers to our ability to be Jewish, no matter where we are, even in a place or situation that may hinder the expression of who we are, both as Jews and as human beings. So the metaphor of fire and water and wilderness provides a powerful instruction for us as we move through the rhythm of our lives. Without fire, without enthusiasm and passion for who we are as individuals and as a family, as a community, life is merely a chore and nothing more than a burden that we have to carry. Without water, without the flow of ideas and the inspiration that's born of engagement with others, we never can grow or propel ourselves forward and reach our goals. And without wilderness, without pride in who we are as human beings and love for the values and for the teachings of our tradition, we will be left without the tools that we need to create a life filled with beauty and with meaning. There is no doubt in my mind that Hannah Ross, in her 102 years here on this earth, has lived well the experience of fire, of water, and of wilderness. She has lived her life, including these busy golden years, with the fire of enthusiasm for living life. I remember calling Hannah last May for her 101st birthday, even before I arrived in San Antonio. She was the first person I talked to, other than the board. I could tell then, as is the case now, that she carries with her that light that burns brightly, and one that she shares not only with her amazing family, many of whom are here, but with all of us who've had the privilege of knowing her and getting to know her. She is a shining example of how to live life with passion and with warmth. The fact that she chose to celebrate this special birthday here in the synagogue, that she has been a nurturing source in our congregation, in our community for so many years, shows that the waters of Judaism flow within her as she nurtures her family and this community so lovingly. We all travel through the wilderness of life. It's just part of who we are and what we have to do in our world, in our lives. But Hannah's journey has been guided by a commitment to her Jewish heritage, using the ideals and values and mitzvot of our Jewish tradition as tools for building a better future for everyone around her. If you don't mind, Sharon, can you bring her up? Hannah, we're going to get you up here for a minute. Everyone can see her that way. So, Miss Hannah, as you mark this milestone in your life, we thank you for allowing us to celebrate with you. And we thank you for being an inspiration to all of us as to how to live life with enthusiasm, with meaningful and nourishing experiences, and for showing all of us how to push aside the challenges of life and continue moving forward as you have done for 102 years. So we offer you this special Misha Berach, a special prayer, and we give thanks to God for the gift of life in doing so. I'm going to let you look over my shoulder, okay? So here it is, Agudas Achim in San Antonio, Texas, Shabbat Bamidbar, the 3rd of Sivan, corresponding to May 14th. May God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, grant the blessings of health and happiness and fulfillment to Hannah Ross as she gathers with family and with friends this Erev Shabbat in celebration of her 102nd birthday. It's amazing. I'm sorry. I can't even say that. 102. Yeah, she says she can't say it either. May Hannah continue to enjoy the love of her family, the warm embrace of her many friends, and the respect of our community. Bless her with good health and bodily vigor, happiness, and a continued zest for life, and the insight and wisdom born of her experiences. May she always enjoy the satisfaction that comes from knowing her participation in the life of our community and her dedication to her family and to this congregation make our world a better place. As Hannah marks her 102nd birthday, may her enthusiasm for living an active life remain ever vibrant. May she continue to move forward, sharing her warm smile, because I know it's there. It's hidden, but we're going to see it soon. That's up to you guys. You can if you want. Sharing her warm smile with all who come to know her, even as she counts the days of her life, help her to make each day of life count as well. And in celebrating this significant milestone in her life, we offer Hannah the most profound prayer of our ancestors. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha, Shalom. May the eternal God watch over you and grant you a life of blessing. May the eternal God lift up your face to see the goodness which abounds in our world. And may the eternal God allow you to enjoy every gift life has to offer and to grant you peace. And together we say, Amen. Amen. We have a couple of other things for you. Because I think as you celebrate your birthday, we can add the most profound prayer in addition to our Birkat Kohanim, our blessing, our priestly blessing. Hold on a minute, don't go away. As we join together in a little happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Let her take it off.
Happy birthday, dear Hannah. Happy birthday to you. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Siman Tov.
Siman Tov. There we go.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu. Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu, 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 Uvachol Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu,
I could not get 102 pieces of candy in my hands. That's a lot of candy. 102 pieces of candy. However, I have one for each quarter of a century and two more. Mazel tov. You can give them to the grandkids.
Happy birthday.
We are going to continue to celebrate through the service and keep her bright smile and again that enthusiasm for living life, because we know that you don't reach 102 just by accident.
It's true.
You have to have an attitude of living life to its fullest, to enjoying family and friends. Again, that idea of fire, of passion, of enthusiasm for life, of being able to navigate the waters of the world around us, and certainly living through the challenges that face us and never forgetting that we have people around us to help us go forward. And Hannah has been one of those people that has helped all of us go forward in how we live our lives. A little bit later, we will take a look at the Torah that is, we talk about Torah and about the giving of the Torah. Shavuot is coming up as we will celebrate the holiday of giving of the Torah, and one of the Torahs in our ark is proudly, has the name of Hannah on it, presented by her grandchildren, her family, and so it is in our ark as we daven tonight, and as you face the ark, when we do the Amidah and when we do the Aleinu, you know that that Torah with that cover is right in the front. We'll show it to you in a little bit. And it reminds us of what it does take to make a life full and happy and meaningful. So mazel tov and happy birthday. We're going to move forward into our service as we again continue to celebrate. And I'll ask if you're able to rise as we turn to page 39A. 39A. There you will find the beginning of our evening service as we rise and join together in celebration of Shabbat and of this new day of Shalom we hope it brings for us. 39A.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai Amavorah. Baruch Adonai Amavorah. Mevorach leolam vaed. Mevorach, mevorach leolam vaed.
You may be seated.
Uma'avir yom umevi laila. Umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, Tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ari v'aravi.
Amen. Page 40, you'll find Ahavat Olam, our prayer that reminds us of God's love for us and our love for God through the mitzvot. Page 40.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגע ימם ולילה כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגע ימם ולילה כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגע ימם ולילה כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגע ימם ולילה יא לי 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 יא לי 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 יא לי 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 יא לי 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 יא לי 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 יא לי 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 באהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל
41.
שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשיטתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשופך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We read in the English together on the left side on 41. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all that is yours. These words that I command you this day shall be taken to heart. Teach them again and again to your children. Speak of them when you sit in your home, when you walk on your way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a symbol above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. We turn over to page 44. In the bold print there, you will find the words Mi Chamocha. These were the words that our ancestors celebrated with as they crossed out of Egypt, across the Red Sea, out of slavery in Egypt towards freedom. We join together, page 44.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא נורא, נורא תהילות, אוסף אלה. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא נורא, נורא תהילות, אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה. זה אלי, זה אלי, ענו ואמרו, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה. זה אלי, זה אלי, ענו ואמרו, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא 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 תהילות עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא 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 תהילות עושה פלא. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא 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 תהילות עושה פלא, עושה פלא, עושה פלא. נאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מי החזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen. Page 45, you'll find Hashkivenu. It's our prayer that we ask for a shalom, for protection as we go to bed at night, and pray for awakening for a brighter day. Certainly as we see what is going on in the world, especially in Israel, this prayer has extra meaning tonight as we ask again for shalom, for God to shield us and to protect us. Page 45, we read the English together at the top of the page. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us. Remove from us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you, God, watch over and deliver us, and you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Amen. Page 45 on the right side, we join together in the special Hashkivenu prayer in Hebrew.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamitenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamitenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamitenu malkeinu l'chaim. Ushmor tzeiteinu ufoenu b'chaim u'shalom me'ata ve'ata Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom V'amidenu malkeinu l'chaim Amidenu malkeinu l'chaim.
On page 46, you'll find Vishamru as we connect to God through the oath, through the sign of Shabbat, as we look for a Shabbat Shalom. We rise as we join together, page 46.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam. Beini uvein bnei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam.
Middle of 46, Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadav yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
V'yamad yivrach yimutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'cha yechon yom echon uv'chayet kol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, v'yimaru, amen. Yeheshmei rabba mevarach, le'alam lahal ve'almaya, yitbarach. Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'tromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalal, shemei dekudisha, le'elan mikol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma, v'yimaru, amen.
You'll find the silent Amidah for this evening beginning on page 47 through 52. As always, please feel free to add your own personal thoughts and meditations to the words on the page, and when you are through, you are welcome to be seated. welcome to be seated if you wish. You'll find Shalom Rav on page 51.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. 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 Ki ata hu melech adon lachol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lachol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'einecha livarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם, תשים לעולם.
We've just sung our song for Shalom, for praying that we can bring peace into the world. If you'll turn forward in your Siddur to 173, there you'll find our Misha Berach for healing and for hope. We add a special prayer here as well, of course, to ask for a sense of spiritual, physical, emotional healing that all of us need, that we know people who are physically challenged need, and that certainly our world needs healing. So page 173 on the left side, you'll find the words of Debbie Friedman and Drora Settle as we join together.
Mi sheberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Refuah Shalema. We turn back in our Siddur to page 54. There you will find Kaddish Shalem as Arlene leads us.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ויאמר דברי חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, וחייכונו ויומכונו וחיית כל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו.
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלמא לעולמיה.
Yitbarach.
יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה. ברכו לאלה בין כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא וימרו.
Amen.
תתקבל צלות ההון ובוטהון דכל ישראל, קדם ובהון וישמעיה וימרו.
Amen.
יהי שלמה רבה מן שמעיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו.
Amen.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו. Amen.
On page 55, you will find Kiddush for Shabbat as we pause to raise a cup of grape juice, in this case, or wine of sweetness. And tonight, as we raise that cup of sweetness, toasting Shabbat, we are also going to toast our birthday girl. So I'm going to bring her the second cup we have over here. As we all rise and we join together in Kiddush, again, we toast Shabbat and we toast Miss Hannah as she celebrates her 102nd birthday.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu Shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lamikra'ei kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'chata v'yotanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshcha ve'ahava uvratzon hinaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. We remain standing as we turned forward on our Siddur to page 63. We are finishing up the period of the counting of the Omer. We have made our journey from slavery in Egypt towards receiving Torah at Sinai on Shavuot, and we've been counting each day for 49 days is how we count. We're getting close to the end. So we turn to page 63 and remain standing as we read in the English together, followed by the bracha in the Hebrew for the counting of this new day of the Omer. The top of 63 together. I am about to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer, as it is written in the Torah. You shall count from the eve of the second day of Pesach, when an omer of grain is to be brought as an offering, 7 complete weeks. The day after the seventh week of your counting will make 50 days. The bracha in the Hebrew together, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. We turn over to page 70. To the second line from the bottom where it says on Sivan 4, we read together, Hayom Shmona V'Arba'im Yom Shehem Shisha Shavuot V'Shisha Yamim LaOmer. Today marks the beginning of the 48th day in the counting of the Omer. That's exactly 6 weeks and 6 days. Just as we pause to count the days, may we, like Miss Hannah Ross, make each day of life count as well. Together we say to that, Amen. And we remain standing as we turn over to page 56. There you will find Aleinu as we join together.
Aleinu lishabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kimishbechot ha'adama, shelo samcho kenu kahem, vegor aleinu ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, עמד מלכנו אפצולתו, כאן כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת. Ein od, ein od. V'nemar, v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, v'yom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, u'shemo echad.
You are welcome to be seated. As we prepare to recite Kaddish, Mourner's Kaddish this evening, we extend our condolences to the family of Mark Samuels, to Mark Cherry on the death of Miriam Schlafsky, mother of Mark. We certainly give our hugs of support. I know it was a long journey for him. They ventured to New York for a funeral and back, and it has been certainly a trying time for them, and so I know they'd appreciate your hugs of support during this time. We also mention the names of those who are continuing through the Shloshim period, through the 30-day mourning period, and we extend our condolences to Rhonda Gorinsky again on the death of her father, Ronnie Radcliffe, and to our entire community and to Alan Rosenstein on the death of Lisa Starr Rosenstein. We continue to keep those three in our thoughts and prayers. And as we prepare to recite Mourner's Kaddish this evening, we Recite the names of those whose yortzites occur today and in the week that is coming. Sonia Belinsky, Edna Bornstein, Woodrow Frankel, B'nai Harris, Edna J. Saya, Beatrice Casson, Ruth Krakow, Thomas Levine, Lillian Levine, Donald Miner, May Moskowitz, Paula Platt, Felix Reif, Lesia Rosen, Blanca Charlak, Leo Schwartz, Florence Streckel, and Abraham Williams. If there's any names that I did not recite, you feel free to recite them at this moment or within your hearts. Those reciting Kaddish Shatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, if you'll rise and join with me on page 58. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Bialma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olomei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May be seated. Just a few quick announcements. We will be here tomorrow morning as always at 9:15 for our Shabbat morning service, and we will follow that up with Torah study after. So people are welcome to join us, whether virtually still or in the building, for our Shabbat worship tomorrow morning. We also, of course, have our morning minyan, and we really could use your help in helping to make a minyan as many days as we can and if possible. Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays here in the building at 7:30, and live streamed and Zoomed on Mondays and Thursdays in particular. But the other days of the week, Wednesdays and Fridays, you'll see it on Zoom as well. So please help make a minyan in any way that you can. We mentioned the challenges we know about what's going on in Israel, and certainly it is important for us to stay tuned in and to acknowledge what we can do and learn about what we can do. So tomorrow night, you will find our Havdalah program, which was already scheduled to be a trip to Israel, via Zoom, by the way, is actually going to include our local AIPAC representative, who will talk to us a little bit about the situation in Israel and certainly how we can stay aware of what's going on. So that will be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. on Zoom. You can get the Zoom link by RSVPing even right after Shabbat. We will man the RSVP line. If you haven't seen it, the link has been in the email as well, but if you need, you can certainly do that right at 9, and we will make sure that you get the link immediately. Also, we mentioned that Shavuot is coming. We have just counted day 48, so we have one more day, and then Sunday evening we will welcome in the holiday the festival of Shavuot, our holiday of Torah. We will join together here in the sanctuary at 7 p.m. Sunday evening for our Shavuot evening service, along with our 10th grade confirmation class ceremony. Our 10th graders will be participating and sharing a little bit about what Judaism means to them. So I hope you will, again, come here to join them, give them support, and certainly you can watch from afar and live stream. Following the service, we hope you will stay at 8 o'clock. We'll have a little bit of a nosh, and we will do some learning. That's the custom for Shavuot, is to do a tikkun, Leil Shavuot, an evening of learning. So we will do that from 8 to, give or take, close to about 10. And we'll have 3 different slots that we will be teaching. Rabbi Ricky will start us off, and Rabbi Ben and I will bring up the rear. And you are welcome to stay for all or as much as you are able to that evening, and especially, again, to give support to our 10th graders during the evening service from 7 to 8. And don't forget that Monday and Tuesday we continue the holiday. We will have our festival morning service at 9:15 a.m. both Monday and Tuesday here in the sanctuary. Again, we'll live streamed as usual, and Yizkor will be recited on Tuesday. So please keep that in mind. And I know you always ask when. It won't be before 10:30, but it will be sometime around that point and after. So how about that? So we have Hallel. It'll be a busy morning. We'll be studying the Torah and certainly hearing the Ten Commandments being read. So we hope you will join and help make a minyan there too. And please remember the offices will be closed for both Monday and Tuesday. We'll be back on site on Wednesday and can take care of anything you need at that point. So just be aware if you need something that you can check back with us on Wednesday. I think that is all of our announcements for the evening. And again, we want to extend a hearty mazel tov to Miss Hannah and to her entire family and all of the friends and all of us who are getting the chance to celebrate with her on this special occasion. I know we couldn't do this for 101, but can we do it for 103? 103? Can we do it next year for 103? Yeah, perfect. We got to make up for lost time last year, so we're going to plan on it. We're going to plan on it. So with that, we're going to conclude. Are we doing Yigdal? Yeah, we're going to do a little Yigdal this evening, which is the traditional way of ending the service. And I mentioned the Torah earlier. We generally don't take the Torah or open the Ark on a Friday night, but if anyone wants to take a look at the Torah, we will be using, by the way, on Shavuot, for the Maftir on Shavuot, we will be using the Hannah Ross covered Torah. So if you want to see it, I'm happy to stay up here, or we're happy to open the Ark. You'll see it right away. And you will know that we are taking it out and studying from it. If it's just sitting there, it doesn't mean anything. We're going to take it and we're going to study from it, and we're going to think of you as we do so this coming weekend on Monday and Tuesday for the holiday of Shavuot. Page 62, you will find Yigdal as we end together.
יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח נמצא ואין אל מציאותו אחד ואין יחיד כייחודו נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו אין לו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף לא נערוך אליו קדושתו קדמן לכל דבר אשר נברא ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו הינו אדון עולם וכל נוצר יורה גדולתו מלכותו שפן נבואתו נתנו אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו לקם בישראל כמו שעוד נביא ומביט את אמונתו תורת אמת נתן לעמו אל יד נביאו נאמן ביתו ליחליף האל ולא ימיר דתו לעולמים לזולתו סופר ויודע סתרנו מביט בסוף דבר בקדמתו גומר לאיש חסד כלפעמו נותן רשעה רק הרישתו ישלח בקץ ימין משיחנו לבדוק בחגי קץ ישועתו מתים יחיה ורוב חסדו ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו מתים יחיה ורוב חסדו ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו.
We thank Arlene, we thank Anthony, and we thank Michael for joining us this evening, making our Shabbat service so festive. And thank you to Rabbi Ben for leading us the first part. We join together. Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Hey,
Shabbat Shalom.
Hey,
Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Hey, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom and happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
Are you going to use this one tomorrow? It's got the batteries that have just been charged.
Yeah.